Before we can put a topping down, we have to deal with cracks. And the first step in dealing with cracks is chasing them. This particular tool is called a crack chaser. That blade right there will open a crack up, giving us a nice wide opening to put our crack patch repair material in. The whole idea here is to run that in as straight a line as possible and open up those cracks. Why do we repair cracks? The answer is to eliminate or minimize shadowing. If a crack is not prepared properly with a topping over it, you can get shadowing. There are two different types of cracks: static and moving. Static cracks are cracks in concrete that occur once and stop. If such a thing exists, they're actually the better type of crack. A moving crack is one that continues to move, open or close. That's really bad. Very difficult to address, and if you have moving cracks, you want to consult an engineer or professional to come in and deal with those. In this particular situation, Dave is using a two-part, high-strength, fast-reacting crack repair system. The mixing nozzle goes on top, the cartridge shoots the product together, mixes in the nozzle, and as I said, Dave is filling the cracks with that particular material. It'll be completely cured in about 30 minutes. We seed the crack repair material with sand. This basically gives us a binding surface when we put the topping on top of it. In places where you might have some excess crack material that overflowed, you want to get to it before it completely sets up, as Dave is doing here, and scrape that top off. The material underneath is still tacky enough that you want to go back and seed those areas with sand as well. Anytime you're dealing with carpet, you're going to deal with tack strips. Ouch. Sharp. Anytime you deal with tack strips on concrete and you remove them, you're going to take some of the concrete with you. Typically what you get is these pop-outs and these divots along the wall. In this situation, we're going to use the vinyl cement-based patch material to fill the divots and the pop-outs created by the tack strip when we remove them from the concrete. We don't need to worry about making it look good because we're going to be putting a topping on top. In fact, I wanted to leave them a little bit rough. That gives something good for the topping to bite into when we apply that. You can see we filled those divots or those pop-outs created by the tack strips. Once again, aesthetics aren't important because we're going to put a topping over it. Now what happens in a situation where you're not going to use a topping and your concrete's in good shape and you're going to directly stain over that? That's where you use the old banding trick method. The old vinyl patch banding trick method. That's why we use a piece of tape or a saw cut, create a nice clean band. We'll put the patch material nice and smooth over the whole area, and it'll look like it was meant to be. Fill in the divots and the pop-outs, and at the same time creating a nice decorative band accent over the whole area. Once the material's taken initial set, I can remove the tape. Leaves a nice clean line. That material will dry to a nice light gray. When we stain the floor, if indeed we were staining the entire floor here, it would be one nice uniform band that would pick up the stain in a really, really nice way. We've dealt with the cracks, we've patched the divots and the pop-outs from the tack strips. What's left to deal with on this floor is the areas that have settled. Join us in segment 3 as we put down a self-leveling underlayment that'll take care of all those issues.